Welcome back to the videos. In this video, fabrication begins on the dump pipe and intercooler pipes, so let's check it out. With the wiring loom finally sorted, I rewrapped it back up using some tesa tape. I got myself a Bosch 2.7 bar map sensor, so I went ahead and fitted that. The factory injectors were removed and the Bosch 1650cc injectors fitted with a dab of Vaseline to each O-ring because nobody likes going in dry. So before starting on the dump pipe, I gave the firewall a little bit of a massage for some clearance, and then riv nutted in some P-clamps for the brake line to move it out the way. We started off by cutting a 4-inch 45-degree bend in half. Before tacking it onto the V-band reducer, then marking and tacking the second half in the orientation we were happy with. We then mocked up 2 more 45-degree bends with a V-band before measuring up the straight section required to join the two. The rest of the pieces were then tacked together. V-bands used are from Amron Industries. Starting on the intercooler piping, a length of 4-inch tube was positioned down between the fuse box to measure up how much needed to be cut off the 90-degree bend that comes out of the throttle body. We then put the 90-degree bend onto the throttle body and mocked up a 45-degree bend and measured up the straight section required and then tacked the pieces together. Another section of straight and then a 4" to 3" reducer were tacked into place. Another 45-degree bend was mocked up on the top pipe, and then a 45 and 90-degree bend were mocked up and measured to see how much length needed to be cut off the straight section. The pieces were then marked before getting tacked together. Moving on to the turbo side, I cut some material off of the compressor housing. The straight section was cut off of a 3" 90-degree bend. A short series 45-degree bend was then marked and tacked together. A 45-degree bend was cut in half to effectively give a 22.5-degree transition, marking its orientation on the car and then tacking it into place. An alloy bend was mocked up on the turbo and then the straight section measured up. A section was cut out of the fan box to give clearance for the dump pipe. The plastic piece that the wiring loom clips into was clearanced for the wastegate dump. A 45-degree bend was cut in half and then tacked onto the wastegate flange. A 45-degree bend was then lined up, marked, and then tacked together. The other half of the 45-degree bend was positioned, marked, and then tacked on. It may not look like it, but there's a ton of hours work here, plus all the hours editing and filming. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. Massive shout out to Luke for bringing his TIG welder over and giving me a hand. And hats off to all the fabricators out there that make this stuff look easy, because we're no professionals, just giving it a crack. Like always, if you've got any comments or questions, make sure to chuck them below, and thanks for watching.